leave if they wish or stay if they want to. So. I'm not sure how I should start this because this is a really awkward feeling to go from like a totally packed house thing to like lose the entire audience. And so it's like a really bad comedy show. And it's like your worst nightmare just came true, right? Like, oh my gosh, and you could speak and everybody had a mass exodus. I'm telling you, it's like if my husband was sitting in the audience right now, he'd be like, "Yep, I told you so," right? No, but again, I appreciate people who are staying to get this next phase of our work. Just a little background, this actually is coming to you now in February, but we started this work as a district team back in July with Solution Tree. And what we found, and like anything, is we have to be current with what our reality is in our current time frame. So we have to look at where we're going. We have to look what life looks like post-pandemic. We have to look to see what our teaching life looks like. It's vastly different than it was before March 13th of 2020. And if we don't acknowledge that as professionals in any line of business, then we're kind of missing the mark of where we're at. So we started doing some work of really having to create collective groups. We started again with our administrative team, and we've carried this through with our staff within our buildings of how do we look at the work that we're doing and where do we want to go? Where do we want to be as a district? And so the mission vision work always kind of gets this like, and it becomes this belief system that you have these lovely words that get put on posters and they get put up all around buildings and no one really understands them, but it's the first time everybody goes onto a thesaurus or Google to see how creative words can actually become. And then we're going to plaster it on a piece of paper and hope that everybody understands it. And so it's really important as we move through this work that we understand the reasons why we do this work and then not to rush the work. And so, again, our timeline for this is we built enough understanding and capacity as a district team that we're ready to kind of bring this out to everybody else and ask people to participate. So our timeline for this work is clearly tonight is our first intro to putting together our mission vision, along with benchmarks to check to see how we're doing with this work. We'll have in March and April, we'll have open work sessions. If you didn't, if you need to pick this up from the notes from the previous meeting, there's a QR code at the bottom that you can fill out the job form in or the Google form, and it gives us some information on how to reach out to you to be part of those open sessions and what timeframes work best for you. This again is multifaceted. It's an open invitation. It isn't a certain select group of people. It's really any parent or community industry members that want to participate. By May, we'll have the finalization of the work so that we can really vet all the work that has gone into this during the months of March and April. And then our hope is to present in front of the school board of trustees in June so that we can be all on the same page as we move into the 23-24 school year. So again, moving into the future of our community. And just to give a little brief background of understanding the difference between mission and vision. Again, these are our hot topic words that are used frequently in every industry outside of education. And it looks to say like, and then, okay, thank you. And to understand that mission statement is, what are we doing today to get to the future? It is something that is easily understood by every single person, whether they're 5, 18, 35, or 70. They're able to be measured. Many times mission statements are, again, those lofty words and we don't put measurements into them. So we never know if we're actually working towards success in meeting those. So for our district's mission, it's incredibly important that we have those benchmark and check-ins so that we have that level of accountability. We need to make sure that it is aligned to who we are, what we want to become, where are we at today, and why and how is it important to move into the future. Again, and that they're achievable. We don't want something so lofty that we get disappointed, or we want something that isn't, again, realistic. Again, taking this all to a vision, which is that pie in the sky, that gold medal, the national championship trophy, what can we work to make sure that we are going for it all? Yeah. So if we just look at it in simplicity and we look at it in a visual form, is that mission is the road that we travel each and every day. And sometimes that road will be really long and curvy and tedious, and others it will be really quick and we'll get to our destination. But ultimately that vision is taking us where we want our destination to be, but we travel it each and every day. Why now? It's because of these pillars. And these pillars are what the state of Indiana is telling each school district, that we will be ultimately responsible for all of our students as they depart from us at the end of their graduation year. So this is not something that Plymouth created behind closed doors. This isn't something that anybody has been hiding. This is the state of Indiana that has been released. It has been on a public document. It'll be what all of our accountability measures are for the future, for the state. And it, again, is talking about academic mastery for all students, career and post-secondary readiness, which again is not just going into higher ed, but it's the credentials and experiences to prepare students for what they choose to do after graduation. Communication and collaboration, which leads to those STEM requirements. PBL model, again, are our students having the opportunities to work together to collaborate and to learn from the levels of expertise from their peers and from their facilitator teachers in the classroom. What does work ethic look like, and how does that impact who we are today and who they will become in the future? Are they going to be the employees that everybody wants to hire, and how do we incorporate that into our classrooms? And then finally, the civic and financial digital literacy, which again encompasses a multitude of things, but understanding that our students, as they leave, are already citizens into the communities in which they choose to reside. So what does this all mean? Interestingly enough, if you think back, how many of you are carrying the same cell phone you had 10 years ago? Anybody? Really? Okay, that's pretty impressive, number one. Which is even cool to the point of like, I am so proud of you that you actually raised your hand. I will bring you a treat tomorrow too. But acknowledging the fact that we move forward with a lot of things in our lives. Typically, traditionally, it has to do with technology. We are always up to what is current. We are ready to it. You can look at your kids and how skilled they are with anything that they use, from TikTok to Instagram, to making sure that girls' hair or boys' hair is long enough so that the one AirPod is in their ear, but they think you can't really see it, but it's really there. And no, I'm listening to you, but they're really not listening to you because they have an innate skill set that is way beyond any of us in this room. And so when you look at what the jobs are for 2020, we were preparing our kids for, so that thinking back when these kids were in kindergarten, we were saying that they were going to be, if they chose to do higher education, that they were going to be in business development, strategy, speech and language. Amen to speech and language, because we are constantly looking for that type of individual. So that should still be on any popular list. If you have kids that are getting ready to go to college, tell them to go into that field. They will be paid well and be desired. So just on a side note of that, but software engineer, data engineer, development engineer, product management, a data scientist, which I think is a cool name, Java developer, and a front-end engineer. All that analytics side of things. Can we figure out how things are working? Trades, radiation therapists, dental hygienists, boiler, I think that should have been makers, but it wanted itself correct. Construction and building inspectors, electricians, aircraft and avionic equipment mechanics, technicians, nuclear medicine technologists, construction manager, elevator and escalator installer, electrical and electronics technicians. They're averaging $60,000 to $100,000 salaries in trade. And that was for 2020. So we're going to watch a very quick video.
Shared mission, shared vision, shared values, and shared goals, and most schools skip these all together. From that data that we looked at and a discussion about what should be our common purpose as a system, as a school. Why? Why do we need to have that discussion? The factories are closed. The farms have been taken over by corporations. It's a new economy. It's a new global market. The world has changed. Technology is coming. So given the modern context, what will our collective purpose be as a staff and as an institution? We decided that given the modern context, our mission would be that we would work collaboratively to ensure that each student is prepared for post-secondary education. Why is that important? We discovered from looking at Department of Labor data that 85% of the jobs in the 21st century that pay a middle-class wage will require some form of training, formal training outside of high school. So we're not preparing them for Chrysler anymore. There's very few of those jobs left. We're not preparing them for General Motors. They shut that down. US Steel, we're preparing them for Google, Apple, to be an entrepreneur. So developing common purpose helps you figure out where you go. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Mission is your core purpose. What is our core purpose? So tomorrow when I leave here, I have a purpose. It's to make it to the Charlotte International Airport before my plane takes off. That's my mission. What would be my vision? My vision is the specific route that I need to take to actually get there. That data template that I showed you earlier gave us insight into the biggest holes that we face as a school to become this. So what does a profile look for a kid who's prepared for post-secondary education? What does it look like? Now let's look at our data and see where are our holes. We found 5 holes. And every staff member was a part of a school improvement team focusing on one of these 5 strategic areas. Our department chairs
So again, the work that we are doing is again, that in readiness and preparation for who our kids will be in their future. So if we look at the jobs for 2035, which those are kindergarten kids right now, they are the class of 2035. So our 5 and 6-year-olds, this is what their future will look like. Virtual store manager, robot trainer, robot mediator, drone traffic controller, augmented reality designer, micro gig agents, data detectives, artificial intelligence engineer, nanomechanics, medics professionals, aviator, avatar, relationship manager. Looking at trades of automation, large equipment technician, AI technicians, construction management, quality control. I don't even know what half of those are. And that's what we're in charge of, ensuring that our current kindergarten class has the resources and access to the things that will allow them to be successful in a world we can't even imagine. So what we'll be charged with is what attributes must we instill in our students to ensure that they have access to these professions? What do we need to create in every classroom so that they have the skills to be able to accomplish these professions? So here's where we collectively will be working together. So the big gray outer circles are the requirements from the Department of Education for our monitoring service. Now, to give credit to the Department of Education, you will see that, yes, they have strayed from the concrete test scores that they have been driven for so long. They are embedded in here, just they're not giving it up, but they're embedded differently. But they are now recognizing that that can't stand alone. That a school cannot be measured on one test during a year, that there has to be a compilation of many things for students to be able to be successful at the end of their time in our school district. What's really important is that the red ovals are the facts of the matter, is that none of this can be done without partnerships outside of the school district. Whether it's partnerships with parents, whether it's partnerships with industry, whether it's partnerships with businesses, our teachers, our students, our school board of trustees, is that none of these things can be done alone. So our work, and just like was shared in that brief video, is that we have to look at what we're doing now and what we need to change to ensure that we prepare our class of 2020 or 2035 for what their future will look like. And in the meantime, as we look at what that kindergarten class needs for their skills, those skills are going to be replicated for every class leading up to that. We will be using a planning template similar to this to work together. Again, making sure that we have clarity, that we can understand what that compelling future is. It's no longer about what looks like the jobs that I could apply for now, but what can be the jobs that our children could apply for, and what competencies do they need to have in place. We want to take what we have done historically and move it into where we are for the future. And again, building in those benchmarks to check, is it working? So here's your QR code. If you wish to participate with us as we move through this work, please, again, snap the QR code. You can also get it off this paper and share with us the information that you have pertaining to your availability. And again, we would love your participation in this work. Like I said before, we cannot do it alone, and we don't plan on doing it alone. We will ask our school administrators to also put this information in their weekly school bulletins so that we can get the messaging out and we will be informed of when we are meeting. Anybody have any questions? I have now not only cleared the house, I've silenced them. So I've assured 2 new skill sets this evening. Well, thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for staying a little bit longer to listen to this part of the presentation. And again, QR code, get the paper, and we look forward to having some participation from you.